Hello and welcome back to the Empowerment Junction Podcast, where we believe that everyone has the potential to rise above their challenges and achieve extraordinary things. I'm Olivia Bassi, your host, and today I'm excited to dive into a topic that's close to my heart. How ordinary people can achieve extraordinary results. But before we dive into today's episode, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that we've entered a brand new month and a brand new week. September is here, and with it comes new opportunities, fresh starts, and renewed energy. It's a great time to reflect on the goals we set at the beginning of the year and to take those extra steps towards achieving them. And of course, to all of you celebrating birthdays this month, happy birthday! May this new year bring you growth, success, and of course, empowerment in every part of your life. And thank you so much for being part of this amazing journey with me. In our last episode, we discussed the importance of resilience and bouncing back from setbacks. Today, we are going to build up on that foundation and explore the principles that can help us unlock our potential, no matter where we start. I'll be sharing stories of incredible individuals like Maya Angelou, Toni Morrison, Richard Branson, and many others, along with practical tools, inspirational quotes, and resources you can use to reach your extraordinary results. So, if you're seated, grab that pen, grab that drink, and let's jump right in. First, let's talk about the power of small, consistent steps. Often, we get overwhelmed by the magnitude of our goals. We see the finish line, but forget that extraordinary results are built through daily, disciplined actions. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, says, "Success is the product of daily habits, not once in a lifetime transformation." So, I'd like to pose a question, and I'd like you to ask yourself, what small steps can you take today? And what daily habit can move you closer to your dream? Even the smallest actions compound over time, and soon, what once seemed impossible becomes reality. Take a moment to reflect on your own journey. What habit can you start today that aligns with your larger goal? Now, the next important area to consider is self-belief, or the importance of self-belief. Now, let's talk about self-belief. Often, the greatest obstacle we face isn't external, but internal. Yes, our doubts, fears, and insecurities. Many of you have heard of the word imposter syndrome. I wrote a piece on imposter syndrome. I'll attach it as part of the resources perhaps you'd like to explore again. Maya Angelou, the renowned poet and civil rights activist, knew this struggle well. After a traumatic event in her childhood, she didn't speak for almost 5 years. But despite that silence, she eventually found her voice, and in doing so, shared it with millions. She famously said, "You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to reduce by them. I'll repeat that. You may control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. Now, Maya Angelou is a perfect example of how self-belief can lead to extraordinary results, no matter your starting point. Similarly, Toni Morrison didn't publish her first novel until she was 39, while raising 2 children and working full-time. Her words, "You are your best thing," remind us that we already have everything we need to succeed inside of us. So right now, I want you to think about a challenge you're facing. How are you letting that challenge define you? What would it look like if you believed fully in your own ability to overcome it? Right, so moving on to the next one. Persistence. Or actually, the role of persistence. Persistence is the key ingredient in the recipe for success, without a doubt. The journey to extraordinary results isn't a straight path. It's full of twists, turns, and setbacks. Now, I'll give you a famous example, or another famous example of Richard Branson, the founder of the Virgin Group. He struggled with his dyslexia and didn't excel in school, but that didn't stop him from becoming one of the world's most successful entrepreneurs. He launched his first business at just 16 years of age, and despite facing many failures, including ventures like Virgin Cola and Virgin Brides, he never stopped moving forward. As he put it, do not be embarrassed by your failures, learn from them and start again. This mindset is what allowed him to achieve extraordinary success. And it's a reminder to all of us that failure is not the end. It's just one part of this journey. And this comes in with my next area, which is belief in the power of ordinary people. Now, in this case, I'd like to use the J.K. Rowling story. And when I'm speaking of persistence, I think this story is a little close to home with J.K. Rowling's story. Now, many of you might already know her as the author of Harry Potter. But before she became a household name, she was a single mother struggling to make ends meet. Her manuscript was rejected by numerous publishers, and she could have easily given up. Instead, she persevered. And I don't need to say any more about where Harry Potter is. Now, today, Harry Potter is one of the best-selling book series in history. And quoting J.K. Rowling, this is what she said: "Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life." Now, her story reminds us that even in the darkest moments, extraordinary success can come when we persist and believe in the possibility of change. So think about your own journey. What's a setback you're currently facing? How can you rebuild from it? And obviously, I appreciate and I understand sometimes it's just a little bit difficult. You're lacking in resources. And that's why I go out of my way sometimes to bring resources that I feel A lot of my listeners might be able to just go out there and get them, and a number of them are free. Last week I shared one of the courses on resilience, which is a free course. Yes, you have to pay for the certificate, but getting the course, understanding resilience is important. It's a soft skill that I've already emphasized. A lot of us, even me, through each stage of my journey, I have felt that resilience has got me to the next stage. We are about growing, and this is why I feel we're here. This is why I started this podcast. Now, I would like to add some resources to support your journey. Before we wrap up, I want to share these few resources that I feel can help you as you work toward your own extraordinary results. I would absolutely emphasize, and I will keep emphasizing, the power of reading a book, the power of grabbing that book, whether it's an audiobook, whether it's the book itself, a paperback. My first book, and I've shared this in a number of my episodes, Atomic Habits by James Clear. Again, this is a practical guide to building life-changing habits. Please, if you can get this book, do get it. Do get it. Understand what James Clear is talking about. I've already given you another example, Grit by Angela Duckworth, another insightful book on perseverance and passion for long-term goals. It will keep you going. If you remember, this podcast started in December 2023. We're now in September 2024. And if you've been with me, the reason why we're still here is that perseverance. So maybe ask yourself, have I persevered through this journey? Now, I know a number of podcasts that might be good. One is the Tim Ferriss Show. The team interviews high achievers from all walks of life, sharing their tools for success. I've already given you one of my favorites, is Jay Shetty. And if you're an entrepreneur, how about tuning into another podcast, which is How I Built with this guy, Raz. It offers inspiring stories of entrepreneurs and how they built iconic brands from the ground up. And of course, I would be remiss not to share the number of apps that I use, because I feel they give you that momentum. So the two apps which I shared last week again, Headspace, a mindfulness app to help you stay focused and centered. And another app is Habiteka, a fun way to gamify your habits and stay motivated. Quite key. Now take a moment to explore one of these resources and see how it can support you on your journey. And by all means, feel free to send me an email, comment, come back to me, review the podcast. Whatever works for you, I will happily listen to you. I love reading your stories, even the ones that offer criticism. They're very important to me. And as we close today, I want to remind you that achieving extraordinary results doesn't require you to be extraordinary from the start. No. It's about taking small steps, cultivating self-belief, and embracing persistence along the way. Whether you relate to Maya Angelou's story, who found her voice after years of silence, or even better, Richard Branson, who turned failures into opportunities, or J.K. Rowling's rebuilding her life from rock bottom, each of these stories are powerful because they show us that ordinary people can and do achieve extraordinary things. So, before we take the next step, or before you think about the next step, I'd like to leave you with a poem, or one of my favorite poems, from or by Marianne Williamson, which states, Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frighten us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that others won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So, what's the next step on your journey, and how will you take action today to move closer to your goal? Before we go, I'm so excited to share a preview of our next episode where we'll be exploring the incredible power of gratitude and positive thinking. We'll dive into how shifting your mindset can not only improve your mental well-being, but also open the doors to greater success. I'll share stories as usual, tips, and even a special challenge that will help you start cultivating more gratitude in your daily life. So please don't miss my next episode. And with that, thank you so much for tuning into the Empowerment Junction Podcast. If you found today's episode valuable, please share it with someone who might need a little motivation. Don't forget to subscribe for more insight story and inspiring stories, and I'll see you next time. Keep empowering yourself because extraordinary results are within your reach. My name is Olivia Bassi, and this is Empowerment Junction, strategies for empowerment and strategies for empowered living. Bye for now.